emotional intelligence. So this is so important. I want you to get this. We're going to spend that. We're going to camp out here just for a little bit. And here's a quote from Daniel Goleman, who says, if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not able to manage your distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then guess what? No matter how smart you are not going to get very far. So a lot of people think it depends on the school you went to. It depends on where in the business draft you were drafted, where in the country you live, what city do you live in, how big is your house. All of these things that are they're not true indicators of true success. They're not true indicators of a foundational principle that you can build generational wealth upon, but emotional awareness, emotional intelligence truly is. So think about this. According to a study, over 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence accounts for nearly 90% of what sets high performers apart from peers with similar technical skills and knowledge. That means you can have somebody that goes to what people perceive as the best school and somebody that went to a school that people perceive as the worst school. And yet I would wager that the person with emotional intelligence will be far more successful in whatever they put their hand to do in life than the person that is relying upon some sort of principle of like, I went to this school, or I came from this family, or here's the amount of money that I have in my bank account. So emotional intelligence is not to be undercounted, in my opinion. So, and here's a little bit of trivia here. Only 36% of people in the world are emotionally intelligent. So it's not something that is so that everyone has. And you certainly can cultivate this. So this is something that can be learned, even though there are lots of people dismiss this. They think it's not important. It is super important, as we've tried to share with you our opinions and associated for my observations and practice of law over the last 23 years is that it's very important. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in the real estate industry, or you're in the business world, or you're trying to start a new tech company, or you're trying to launch an IPO, or you're trying to do a new fund. All of these things, emotional intelligence cross-pollinates across all markets, all types of services, all types of products. It's super important. So a study followed 80 scientists over the course of 40 years. So this is not just a little snapshot thing, and found that social and emotional abilities are 4 times more important than IQ in determining professional success and prestige. So think about that. That's a dramatic statistic when you really think about that it's 4 times more important than IQ in determining professional success and prestige. Sorry, those of you that are in the Mensa program, right? So certainly, I don't want to offend anybody with high intelligence. It's not that is certainly something to be prized. But having emotional intelligence for longevity across industries, across services, across products that you're trying to launch, this is super important for long-term generational wealth and success. It's a key characteristic, a key foundational principle that we see represented. 95%, here's another study from Business Harvard, from the Harvard Review, that 95% of people think they're self-aware, but only 10 to 15% actually are. So you don't want to over index on your feelings or your perceptions, but you should talk to your friends, talk to your loved ones, talk to your spouse. Yes, they have good insight on whether you are or whether you're not self-aware, and whether you have a high degree of emotional intelligence.